بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين. أما بعد، النهاردة إن شاء الله تعالى هنبدأ بشابتر 4. Chapter 4 under the title of Time Value of Money. When someone is asking me what is the meaning of time value of money, it means that time has an impact on the value of your money. In most of cases, such an impact has a negative influence on the value of your money. This means that if you have amount of cash, don't leave your time eating it. This is why we have a good wisdom in finance. $1 today, it's worthy than $1 tomorrow. So if someone is asking you what would you prefer, getting $100 today or getting $100 tomorrow, of course $100 today are worthy than $100 tomorrow because of many reasons, such as the impact of inflation, the purchasing power of your money. For instance, what you could get today with $100, maybe you will not be able to get it tomorrow. Since the financial decision is related to the future, and in nature most of financial decisions are long term, this means that time becomes one of the most important factors that affect on the financial decision. So if you are looking to support an accurate financial decision, you must consider the impact of the time on the value of your money. If someone is asking me, how could we consider the impact of time on the value of your money? This could be determined by two approaches. The first approach is called discounting. The second approach is compounding. Let us start by the first approach, which is discounting. In discounting, this means that we could deal with future value and the present value. Future value, it's a reflection of a concept, it's called compounding. Discounting, it's a reflection of computing the present value. Let us start by for number one. How could we determine the future value as an instance of the compounding for one period case? We have this example. If you were to invest $10,000 at 5% interest rate for 1 year, how much your investment will be at the end of the year? Okay, we have interest rate 5% multiplied by 10,000. This equal to 500 plus the principal that you are going to get it after 1 year. So the total due is 10,500. This amount, it's called future value. If we would like to set a mathematical formula for the future value for one period case, this will be, in the one period case, the formula for the future value can be written as if V is equal to C0 multiplied by 1 plus r power to t, where C0 is the present value. In finance, when I'm saying 0, this refers to today, which is a reflection of the concept of present value. So C0 is referred to today, R, this is the interest rate, T, it's referred to time. So in our example, we have BV, which is 10,000, multiplied by 1 plus R, which is 5%, power to T, which is 1, so the future value in this case, this is the expected amount of such investment after 1 year at interest rate 5%. The opposite of future value, which is a reflection of a discounting concept, it's called present value. And if you are interested to specify how much such investment is worthy today, this could be determined by present value. Example for this, if you were to be promised $10,000 in 1 year, when interest rates are at a level of 5%, how much is such investment be worth today? In this case, we must implement the discounting concept, which is equal to 10,000 divided by 1 plus r power to t. So 10,000 discounted by interest rate of 5% after 1 year, it is worth today 9,523.81, and this is present value. If we would like to define it mathematically, so we could write down that PV is equal to C1. C1, it's referred to cash flow at the end of the first year, which are a reflection of the future value. So C1, we could refer to it as future value after 1 year, divided by 1 plus r power to t. T in this case is equal to 1. R, this is interest rate. This is a general form if we are interested to calculate the present value. As you see, if you would like to consider the impact of time on the value of your money, you have two approaches. The first one is called compounding, which we refer to it by the concept of future value, or discounting, which we refer to the present value. So imagine that we are going to invest not for 1 period, but we are going to invest for a multi-period. In this case, how could we determine the future value and how we determine the present value? Let us start by a multi-period case for computing future value. In this case, we have this form, which is FV equal to C0 multiplied by 1 plus R power to T, where C0, this is the cash flow at time 0, which is a reflection of present value. R, this is the interest rate. T, this is the number of periods over which the cash is invested. Example for calculating future value for multi-period case here. Suppose that J. Ritter invested in the initial public offering of Modigliani company. This company pays a current dividend of 1.10, And this dividend is expected to grow at 40% per year for the next 5 years. In this example, what will the dividends be in 5 years? What will this mean? That what is the future value of such a dividends in 5 years? But in this case, we write down the general form, which is FV, future value, equal to C0, which is the reflection of the present value, multiplied by 1 plus R power to T. So in our example, C0 is 1.10 multiplied by 1 plus R, which is the gross rate in such a dividends by 40%, power to T, which is 5. In this case, FV equals 5.92. But this means the dividends grows at 40% for 5 years. At the end of the 5th year, the value of such future value is equal to 5.92. Such a future value actually it's a reflection of the concept in finance. It's called compounding. What is the meaning of compounding? Imagine that in our example, we estimated how much the dividends will be after 5 years from today. We found it is equal to 5.92, which is considerably higher than the sum of the original dividends plus 5 times increase of 40% on the original amount. Yani, the value that we found as a future value, which is equal to 5.92, it is more than the sum of the original value, which is 1.10, plus 5 times multiplied by the gross rate multiplied by the original, which is equal to 330. But why this is happening? This is the effect of compounding, and this is why in some situation they are telling the investor this is the magic of compounding. In using of compounding, it helps you as an investor to achieve future value more than just a normal sum of the original plus the size of increasing over 5 years. For this could be defined as, for example, here at time 0 we have 1.10. At time 1 we have the original, which is 1.10 multiplied by 1.40. At time t, it's 1.10 multiplied by 1.40 power to 2, and so on, power to 3, power to 4, until we reach to the value of future value at the end of the 5th year, which is equal to 1.10 multiplied by 1.40 power to 5, and this is the magic of compounding. If you give a look for this general form of future value, when I'm saying future value equals PV multiplied by 1 plus R power to T. If you give a look for this equation, you will find that this equation consists of 4 variables. PV, which is the present value, FV, which is the future value, R is the interest rate, T, this is the period of time. This means that given three values of those variables will enable me to get the fourth one. يعني هذه معادلة تتكون من 4 متغيرات أساسية. في حال توافر 3 متغيرات من هذه المعادلة نقدر نستنتج المعادلة الرقم الرابع. يعني إذا أتيح لك قيمة present value وقيمة future value وقيمة period of time نقدر نستنتج قيمة R. أو إذا أتيح FV وBV وR نقدر نستنتج T. وهو ده احنا هنعمله في الجزء اللي جاي ان شاء الله من المحاضرة، ازاي نستنتج the fourth one in the case of given 3 variables. Let us start. How long is the wait? How long is the wait? In this part, we would like to determine T. We are interested to determine the period of time. Let us start by this example. If we deposit 5,000 today, this means the present value is 5,000. In an account, such an account is paying 10%. This R is the interest rate. How long does it take to grow to 10,000? This is future V. In this case, we have a BV, which is 5,000. We have FV, which is 10,000. We have the interest rate, which is 10%. يبقى نقدر نستنتج المتغير الرابع, which is T. How could we do this? Here, FV is equal to C0 multiplied by 1 plus R power 2T. So this is equal to 10,000 equal to 5,000 multiplied by 1.10 power to T. By dividing by 5,000, this means that 1.10 power to T is equal to. But how could we determine T? By taking a natural logarithm. Then 1.10 power to T is equal to then 2. In this case, T is equal to 7.27 years. Another example is how could we determine a rate? طب ازاي انا اقدر احدد a interest rate and whether this interest rate is enough or not. Let us take the following example. Imagine that the total cost of college education will be, this is the future value. College education will be, this is the future value, equals to 50,000. When your child enters college in 12 years, after 12 years, your child will be in a university or college, but this is T. You have now 5,000, but this is the present value to invest today. إذا السؤال هو ما هو معدل الفايدة؟ أنا لازم أكسبه عشان أضمن إن 5,000 will create 50,000 in the future. يبقى this is the question. What rate of interest must you earn on your investment to cover a cost? عشان نحدد الانترست ريت نفس الفكرة نعوض في الجنرال فورم. الجنرال فورم عندي هي ان FV is equal to C0 multiplied by 1 plus R power 2T. قلنا FV يعني 50,000. C0 is 5,000 multiplied by 1 plus R is missing. T is 12 years. By divide two sides by 5,000, so this is equal to 1 plus R power to 12 is equal to 10. How could we determine a R? The first step is to take a reciprocal of that wave. This means that 1 plus r power to 12 multiplied by 1 over 12. The same situation, 10, it will be power 1 over 12. In this case, r is equal to 21.15%. So this means that if you have now 5,000 and you are going to invest it at interest rate equals 21.15% for a period of time equals 12, by the end of this period you will get 50,000 as future value. Another important thing that you must be careful about it is if you are going to invest at a specific interest rate, but this is not a simple interest rate, it is a compounding interest rate. In this case, what we should do? Let us take this part 4.3, compounding period. What is the meaning of compounding period? هو الاستثمار عند رأس مال مركب. What does it mean? It means that you have an investment عندك استثمار, such the investment is compounding m times a year, عدد مرات في السنة, for a number of years for determining the future value. In this case, if you have such a compounding period to determine the future value, we must care about this equation. Future value is equal to C0 multiplied by 1 plus R divided by M power 2M multiplied by T. Let us see what is the C0. C0, this is the present value. What is R? R, this is not a simple interest rate. It is a compounding interest rate. This is the first one. What is M? M, this is a number of times related to the compounding existed in your example. طب واحد هيسألني طب وانا احدد الام ده ازاي؟ او it's based on a time of compounding. هتعتمد على التايم اوف ايه يا جماعه؟ في compounding. How it is? For instance يجي يقول لك ايه؟ انت هتستثمر عند استثمار، هذا الاستثمار is semi annual compounding interest rate. يعني معنى كده how many times will be compounded semi annual? It means 2 times. يجي يقول لك أو مثال آخر you are going to invest at quarterly compounding interest rate. Quarterly يعني ربع سنوي. In this case M it equal to 4. أو يجي يقول لك you are going to invest at monthly compounding interest rate. يبقى in this case M it equal to 12 and so on. يبقى based on a type of compounding you are going to determine what is the value of M. Power 2 M, the number of times of compounding multiplied by T, this is a period of your investment. Let us take an example and see how could we solve it. Example, if you invest 50, this means the cash flow today, the present value today, C0 today is 50 for 3 years. In this case, T is equal to 3 at what? 12% compounded semi-annually. This is the time of the compounding. This is 12%, it will be compounded how many times per year? 2 times. In this case, في هذه الحالة M equals 2. طب how could we determine its future value? So this means that your investment will grow to, يعني my investment, its future value will be FV equal to C0 multiplied by 1 plus R divided by M power 2M multiplied by T. C0 equals 50, 1 plus R, this is a compounded semi-annual, which is 12, divided by m, which is 2 times of compounding, power 2m, which is 2 multiplied by 3 a period of times. يبقى in this case is equal to 70.93. يبقى this means if I have today 50% and this 50% يتم استثمارها بمعدل فايدة مركب قدره 12% سيمي انوال، هذا المبلغ هيكون بعد 3 سنين كام؟ هيكون 70.93. في شيء مهم جدا لازم حضرتك تخلي بالك وانت جاي تتعامل مع الكومباوندد انترست ريت، وخصوصا عند اتخاذ القرار، ان ممكن تلاقي عندك مقترحين، مقترح A investment proposal A و investment proposal B. الانترست ريت بتاع المقترح A is a simple interest rate، معدل فايدة بسيط، ولكن المقترح B it's a compounded interest rate. في هذه الحالة مطلوب منك تقارن، you need to make a comparison between the investment proposal A and the investment proposal B. To make a comparison between them, you must be careful because in the first one, investment has a simple interest rate, but in the second one, investment has a compounded interest rate. But in this case, you must convert one of them to the another one. In this case, we have this concept which is very important for you. It's called the effective annual interest rate. يعني ايه effective annual interest rate؟ بيجيب annual interest rate which is equivalent، بيكون مكافئ compounded interest rate. يعني أنا بحول compounded interest rate أحوله إلى just a simple interest rate, and in this case a comparison it will be very easy. طب how could we determine the effective annual interest rate؟ هو EER. EER it's an annual rate that would give us the same end of investment after 3 years if we are invested at a simple interest rate. In this case, to determine a EER القانون بتاعه EER هو عبارة عن ايه يا جماعة؟ عبارة عن 1 plus R divided by M power 2 N multiplied by M minus 1. ده القانون بتاع effective annual interest rate. يبقى EAR هو عبارة عن 1 plus R over M power N multiplied by M minus 1. تعال نعوض مع بعض. يساوي 1 plus R, this is a semi-compounded interest rate. يبقى semi-annual compounded interest rate. يبقى it is 12 divided by M, which is 2. Power 2 N, because we are converted into an effective annual, so in this case we have just 1 year. يبقى N هو times هو عبارة عن 1 multiplied by 2, which is the times of compounded, then minus 1, this is equal to 0.1236. يبقى this means that if you have 12% compounded semi-annual, this is equivalent to 12.3 as effective annual interest rate. يبقى in this case, يبقى if you have 12% compounded semi-annual, this it will equivalent to 12.36% compounded annually or as an effective annual interest rate. Another example, for instance here, find the effective annual interest rate of an investment is giving a compounded monthly interest rate equals to 18%. In this case, if it is compounded monthly, in this case we are going to do it will equal 12%. So how could we do it? Here, this is the equation: 1 plus R divided by M power to N multiplied by M minus 1. 1 plus R, which is 18%, divided by M, because it's a monthly compounded interest rate, we divide by 12. Then power to N, this is 1 because this is effective annual, multiplied by M, which is equal to 12. In this case, it's equal to 0.1956. But this means if you are to invest in a specific investment with a compounded monthly interest rate equal 18%, this equal to effective annual interest rate, which is 19.56%. Okay, this is very important, especially عندما نقارن بين مجموعة من المقترحات، أحدهما عند معدل فايدة بسيط والثاني عند معدل فايدة مركب. نيجي مع بعض التايب اوف كاش فلوز. التايب اوف كاش فلوز مهم جدا. انت كمستثمر عندما تواجه بمقترح استثماري لازم تبقى تقدر تفرق بين انواع المختلفه للتدفقات النقديه. النوع الاول من التدفق النقدي بيسموه perpetuity. What is the meaning of perpetuity? Perpetuity هو عبارة عن تدفق نقدي لا نهائي، يعني تدفق نقدي غير محدد الأجل. It's forever. We could define it، نقدر نعرفه إنه constant stream of cash flow، تدفق نقدي ثابت which lasts forever، بيستمر للأبد. عشان كده بيسموه تدفق نقدي غير محدد الأجل أو تدفق نقدي لا نهائي. It's called perpetuity cash flow. Second type of cash flow that you are going to receive a stream of cash flow, but this stream of cash flow it grows at a constant gross rate forever. It's called growing perpetuity. تدفق نقدي ينمو بشكل لا نهائي. ده احنا بنسميه growing perpetuity. But growing perpetuity هو عبارة عن stream of cash flow, but this cash flow it grows at a constant rate forever. A third type of cash flow, it's called annuity, الدفعة, annuity. And this annuity could occur at the beginning or could occur at the end of the year. But in general, most of the annuity, it happens at the end of the year. It's called ordinary annuity, دفعة عادية. What is the annuity? The annuity, it's a stream of constant cash flow, but just for a fixed period of time. يعني مش مفتوحة زي perpetuity. يعني هي عبارة عن تدفق نقدي ثابت لفترة زمنية محدودة، ده بيسموها دفعة سنوية. عادة هذه الدفعة السنوية بتحدث في نهاية السنة، وفي هذه الحالة هنسميها الدفعة سنوية عادية ordinary annuity. But sometimes a annuity it's not constant، مش ثابت، ولكنها it grows at a constant gross rate for a fixed period of time، ولكنها تنمو بمعدل ثابت. In this case it will be considered a growing annuity. يبقى this is the most important types of cash flows and you must aware of them. You must know what is the difference between perpetuity and growing perpetuity. ما هو الفرق between perpetuity and annuity. الفرق ان perpetuity it's forever. ليس لها أجل محدد. But in the annuity it is just for a specific period of time. In this case, if you are facing لو انت بتواجه بواحد من those cash flows, how could we determine its BV, its present value? Let us start by the first one, which is the perpetuity. The perpetuity, as we said, it's a constant stream of cash flow that lasts forever. تدفق نقدي ثابت forever, غير محدد الأجل. As you see here on time 0, we don't have any cash flow, but from the end of the first year we have C. At the end of the second year we have C. At the end of the third year we have C, and forever. يعني تدفق نقدي غير محدد. في هذه الحالة to determine its BV عشان نحدد القيمة الحالية بتاعتها هي عبارة عن قسمة السي على الانترست ريت، يعني قسمة التدفق النقدي على معدل الفايدة. يبقى BV equals C divided by R. Let us take an example for this. Example, imagine that طب واحد يقول لي هو البربتيوتي ده موجود؟ موجود. يعني لو حضرتك زرت لندن ستوك اكسشينج اند بوند اكسشينج، البورصه بتاعت لندن عندهم نوع من السندات بيسموها بريتش كونزوي. البريتش كونزوي ده لو حضرتك استثمرت فيه هيضمن لك تدفق نقدي ثابت forever. So imagine that the value of a British consul is promising you to pay 15 British pound each year. يعني في نهاية كل سنة you are going to receive 15 British pound. And this it's continue until the sun turns into a red giant and burns that planet to a crisp. يعني it's forever. And the interest rate is 10%. But in this case, we have a constant stream of cash flow, and this constant stream of cash flow, it's forever. But in this case, a BV is equal to C over R, C divided by R. C, it's 15 British pound divided by R, which is 10%. But in this case, equals 150 British pounds. So if I would like to buy or to sell this type of British consul, we could sell and buy it at 150 British pounds. Another type of cash flow, which is growing perpetuity. تدفق نقد يا نهائي بينمو بمعدل ثابت. يبقى تدفق نقدي ايه يا نهائي ولكنه بينمو ايه يا جماعه بمعدل ثابت. يبقى it is a growing stream of cash flow which is lasts forever. ازاي؟ خلينا نشوف. عندنا في ادي ده خط الزمن. في السنه الاولى I'm going to receive C، ولكن في الثانيه انا مش هحصل بس على C، يعني انا هحصل على C بمعدل نمو مرتبط في هذه السنة. يبقى إذا معناها C multiplied by 1 plus G. طب في السنة الثالثة the same, I am going to receive C multiplied by 1 plus G power to 2 and so on. It's forever. There is no end for it. In this case, if you are interested to determine its growing perpetuity, in this case a BV is equal to C divided by out of subtracting R minus G. يبقى أول C هو cash flow we divide it by a R minus R minus R minus G, where R is the interest rate, G this is a gross rate. Let us take an example for growing perpetuity. مثال على تدفق نقدي يا نهائي ينمو بمعدل ثابت. Example for this, imagine that the expected dividends next year يعني عائد في نهاية السنة الأولى هيكون 1.30 توزيع الأرباح and the dividends توزيعات الأرباح are expected to grow at 5%. And such process it's forever and there is no end for it. Because it's forever, it's perpetuity, because it's grow at a constant 5%, in this case it will be called a growing perpetuity. But in this case, how could we determine its PV? But in this case, a PV is equal to C divided by R minus G. C, it's 1.30 divided by R, which is 10%. G is 5%. This is equal to 26. So if I would like to buy or say such a type of investment, today we could buy or say it at 26 USA dollars. Another type of cash flow, it's called annuity, دفعة سنوية. And as I told you, a most famous or a most common type of annuity, it's called ordinary annuity, دفعة عادية. ايه هي الدفعة العادية؟ هي تلك الدفعة التي تحدث في نهاية السنة. طب يعني ايه دفعة؟ دفعة هي عبارة عن constant cash flow تدفق نقدي ثابت over a specific period of time. هو تدفق نقدي ثابت لفترة زمنية محددة، لازم أبقى عارف for 5 years مثلا أو for 10 years أو for 20 years. المهم لازم يكون ليها إيه a fixed period of time. Otherwise it will be a perpetuity. If there is no fixed period of time related to the annuity, it will be perpetuity. In this case, if you are facing such a constant stream of cash flows, لو أنت بتواجه هذا النوع من التدفقات النقدية, how could we determine its present value? شايف؟ هنلاحظ هنا في السنة الأولى we are getting C, في السنة الثانية we are getting C, في السنة الثالثة we are getting C, في نهاية المدة لازم يكون T. At the end of the period لازم يكون لك قيمة. In this case, this is an annuity, ordinary annuity, because it occurs at the end of the year. دفعة عادية بتحدث في نهاية السنة. In this case, we could determine a PV as follows. A PV is equal to C divided by R multiplied by 1 minus 1 over 1 plus R power to T. Our formula, it is PV equal to C. What is C? This is a cash flow of the annuity. What is R? This is a interest rate, annual interest rate. What is T? T, this is a period of time. Let us take an example for this and show you how could we determine it. Here, imagine that if you can afford $400 monthly car payment, حضرتك هتدفع الدفعة في شكل قسط سيارة شهريا، هتدفع كام يا سيدي؟ $400. How much car can you afford؟ طب القيمة بقى بتاعت الكار دي بقى مثلا النهارده its present value. If the interest rate is 7% on 36 months loans, وكان القرض ده 36 شهر. What is the PV? In this case let us write down كده التايم لاين خط الزمن اهو. Every month you are going to pay 400 and this it will continue until the end of the period which is 36 months. خلي بالك الداتا موجودة عندك مديك installment قسط شهري ومديك التايم as months شهور 36 months but the interest rate it's a year. In this case we couldn't use it directly, we must convert it into months monthly interest rate. يبقى in this case BV equal to C divided by R, but because R it's annual يبقى we must divide it by 12 to convert it into months. يبقى as you see 400 monthly payment divided by R which is 0.7 divided by 12. Why we divided here by 12? To transfer the annual interest rate into monthly interest rate multiplied by 1 minus 1 over 1 plus R, the same, 0.7 divided by 12, power 2 T, which is months, which is 36. But in this case, the BV of this car, it equals 12,954.59 and so on. This is a value of this. I will leave for you to think in this example. Try to think in this example, and if you are facing a problem in it, we could discuss such a problem next lecture, inshallah ta'ala. Another type of growing, it's called growing annuity. A growing annuity is that the annuity is not constant, but the annuity is growing at a constant growth rate. In this case, we need to determine its present value. In this case, a PV is equal to C divided by R minus G multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus G divided by 1 plus R power 2 power 2T, power 2 T. This is the growing annuity. Let us take an example for this, but you must, of course, you know that what is G. G is a growth rate معدل النمو. Let us take an example for this. Imagine that you will be retired. حضرتك هتتقاعد. عشان تتقاعد in Europe you must protect yourself against this. So the most of people in advance مقدما بيشتروا خطة تقاعد بحيث لما يجي يتقاعد يضمن عائد شهري يتيح له انه يعيش بشكل جيد بدون اي ضغوط. هو ده. نفترض ان a defined benefit retirement plan offers to pay 20,000 per year for 40 years and the increase the annual payment by 3% each year. طبعا because of the inflation, and if you are getting an amount per year, so this amount should be increased because there is increasing the living expenses, inflation rate from one year to another year, so it should be grow to face such increase in the expenses. What is the present value at retirement if the discount rate is 10%? But first of all, you must determine what is given. We have annuity in an amount of 20,000 USA dollars, and we have a number of years, which is T, is 40 years, and this annuity is growing at 3%, which is G. But this type, and we have the interest rate, which is 10%. This is our data. But first step, you must determine what is the type of annuity, what the data are available, and in this case, we started to compensate in our equation. In our equation, a BV is equal to C. What is the C? This is the payment of the annuity, which is 20,000 per year, per year. Divided by R, this is the interest rate, which is 10%, minus G, which is 3%, multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus G divided by 1 plus R, power 2 times, which is 40. So this means that such a type of a growing annuity for 40 years, which is paying you every year 20,000 USA dollars, its present value is in amount of 265,121.57. But by the end of this chapter, you must aware of the following concept. Number one, you must aware of what is the time value of money, why time value of money is important, different approaches for dealing with the time value of money, and we have two dimensions. The first one is the compounding, the second one is discounting. Discounting, it's a reflection of the net of the present value. Compounding, it's a reflection of future value. You must know how we calculate future value, how we calculate the present value. Then you must aware of what is the effective annual interest rate, what is the difference between compounding interest rate and effective annual interest rate, and why it's necessary to convert the compounded interest rate into effective annual interest rate. Also, you must aware of different types of cash flow. We have perpetuity, we have growing perpetuity, we have annuity, and we have growing annuity. By the end of this lecture, I given you some exercise, and we would like from you to test your knowledge. These exercises are related to chapter 3. This is here problem 1. In this problem, I'm giving you a firm has net working capital of 950, current liability 2,500, inventory 1,100. Based on such information, I'm asking you what is the current ratio, what is the quick ratio, comment on this. Problem 2, the same. A firm has sales of $30 million, total asset of 42 millions, and the total debit of 12 millions. If the profit margin is 7%, what is the net income, what is a return on asset, and what is a return on equity. Also, another exercise is related to how we determine a market to book ratio and the price earning ratio based on given information related to the income statement, and related to the net profit, and related to the dividends, and related to the numbers of shares outstanding. Finally, in problem 4, I'm giving you such exercise. Think about it, try to solve it as an assignment at your home. It's a very interesting exercise. Also, it's related to chapter 3. At the end of this lecture, I'm wishing you all of the best, and see you inshallah for the coming lecture, and bye.